everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Niche Girls podcast. I'm Kristen,
I'm Yolanda.
And I'm Jessie.
and we're so happy to be here again. It's
Yes.
awesome. Just before we launch into our topic, which is very exciting, I just want to remind you guys real quick that we, for the remainder of the year, switch to an every other week drop schedule. It's just like very hectic with kids and school, and Yolanda's wedding is coming up so
Yes.
fast, and Jessie and I are like totally crazy at work. So it's just, working out better for us because we want to make sure that we like give you a quality show and not like slapdash five, 5 minutes before.
Yes.
So if you came looking for us last week, you didn't find us, but we're here now, and every other week we'll be here for a little while, and then we'll kind of reassess in the new year. But
Yes.
that's where we're at. So how was everybody's last 2 weeks? Good,
Oh
Good.
God,
busy.
so busy. I feel like
Yeah.
they went by so fast.
Good. I
Yeah,
got to go to
Like
Scream
we
with
did,
Jesse. It was really
yeah, you
yes,
guys
fun.
and then
did. That looked fun.
yes, we did Hollow Scream, and then I went with Kristen to
Yeah.
Halloween Horror Nights.
Yep.
Yeah.
We've just been like doing a whole bunch of Halloween things. It's been
Yeah.
Holiday
fun.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hectic, but yeah, and there's like a bunch of Halloween treats at Magic Kingdom
Yeah.
and in Disney in general, and
Yeah, and then all of
it's
the
been
Latin
crazy.
American heritage treats came out this weekend too.
Yeah.
So we're gonna,
Oh
for
Yeah.
work, Jesse and I have to.
yeah.
We just
Yeah.
must sample some. So it's just been.
It's
Must.
really hard. It's really
It's really rough.
taxing.
It's a taxing job, but we do it for you.
Someone has to
Um,
do it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it. So,
Right.
yeah. Yeah,
It's
well,
been good.
another reason why it's been a little busy on the Disney front and what our topic is today is
Yes.
that last week there was a Destination D23 event here in Walt Disney World, and they released some information, maybe some good stuff, some bad stuff, some stuff that's not really stuff that they're trying to make stuff. We don't really know.
Yeah.
It's bad.
So, our
I didn't
topic
like any of their
today,
stuff.
we don't really know. Our topic today is the Destination D23 event, some of the information that they released in quotes,
Mm-hmm.
and what our takes are on them, and what we as self-appointed
Yeah.
Disney experts
Yeah.
have to say on these matters, because we have some hot takes, some takes, some
Some
thoughts. So
thoughts.
we're gonna launch into it. So Yolanda, do you want to give us the first announcement, and we will dive right in?
Yes, I'll start with not Blue Sky first,
Mm.
because this was like the most shocking to me. So I'll just go with Magic Kingdom. So they are not retheming Country Bears. It does still seem like we'll get the same line of characters, but we're getting a whole new soundtrack for Country Bears.
Hmm.
So
And it's all Disney themed.
it's
Yeah.
all Disney themed. So since I'm already talking, I'll go first. I was not thrilled about this announcement. I think maybe the animatronics could have used an update, because if you've been on Country Bears recently and you go in there, you can hear the clicking. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Jesse's cat, Mr. Feeney, that we've been updating you guys on, and he is so big now.
He jumped on
Um,
the desk.
so big now. But so I think they definitely could have maybe used some WD-40. Again, you can hear the animatronics clicking, but I
Yeah.
am a stickler for tradition, and I'm gonna be really sad to lose Blood on the Saddle and all the boys that turn me on, turn me down. I'm gonna, because it's wild that
Oh
those
yeah,
have existed this long. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's shocking to listen to them.
honestly.
Yeah, that's one of the ones where I understand kind of from like an intellectual
Oh
standpoint
yeah.
why they're doing it, and I think like in an attempt to appeal to younger generations, it does make more sense to have them singing Disney songs,
Yeah.
but I'm with Yolanda. I'm kind of a stickler for tradition, and I love those weird things that make those classic Disney attractions from a time
Yes.
before, from a different universe, it feels like. So I
Yeah.
get it, but I'm also kind of like, I don't know. I also feel like, and if you guys agree with me, chime in. There's so many other things that need addressing in
Oh
Walt
yeah.
Disney World as a whole. So some of the things that they have decided to address, this
Children.
one in particular, I'm kind of like, was that an urgent need? Because there's a lot more things that I think urgently need fixing or need updating.
Updating. Yeah.
Journey into Imagination, and I just don't know why like that's where we're focusing our money and our attention and our time. So
Yeah. I'm disappointed that they're changing it, but yeah, I get
I get
why.
it.
I get it. I mean, those songs are, inappropriate for
They're
kids.
so
I get it.
good.
Adults understand it, and it's funny, and that's great. Do I want them to be singing Disney songs? No.
No.
Yeah.
Do I
I
love
like
Disney songs? Yeah, but I can hear them anywhere. I
Yeah.
can't hear Country Bear songs anywhere.
I like how tacky Western they are.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
like they're still supposed to be in like country version, but like I think I'm gonna hate it.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I
I wonder
foresee
too if
being
it
bitter.
points.
Yeah.
Like being bitter.
I wonder too if
Yeah.
it points to like because Splash Mountain is going to be rethemed to Tiana's Bayou Adventure, which is a more New Orleans theme. So I wonder if they're not trying to kind of take that country frontierland aspect out of Country Bears and make it a little bit more generic. So that way, that area, because there's also that rumor going around that Pecos Bill is going to get a retheme to a Tiana restaurant. So I wonder if they're not trying to like unfrontier Frontierland a little bit. I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah.
It
That's one of the
does.
things I thought of too. So
It does kind of seem like that. Although
Yeah,
I feel like then
probably.
you'd almost have to redo like the voiceover for Thunder Mountain as well. So I don't. We'll definitely see. Uh,
yeah,
if
time
we're
will tell. Who
Yeah.
going,
knows how they're gonna.
time will tell. If we're going over Magic Kingdom updates, the other one is that they are adding a Pirates Lounge, Pirates Bar. We've only
Mhm.
gotten like one picture, and it was one of the birds from like Tiki Room flying over a little pirate lounge. So not much, but
Mr. Feeney has like thoughts about this topic.
he
He
is
like keeps
involved,
jumping
and I
up on
love it.
Jesse's lap, like, and another thing.
I
It is
love it because
funny.
it's making the video really really cute. So I'm here for it. Because he's
He's
like
now
literally
biting her nose.
nibbling her nose.
Oh
So it's
boy.
gonna be a
He
very
always
cute one
does.
to watch. Um, I'm 50-50 on the lounge. So because I'm a large fan of drinks. But I kind of do like that Magic Kingdom is not about drinks in a way.
Yeah, I do. I
So
agree.
you know, and I don't know
It
why I
is really
like that.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool to walk into. Will I sit down and get a drink there? Maybe just to be like, yeah, I got a drink at Magic
Uh-huh.
Kingdom,
For work, I'll
but
do it. But like,
y- yeah, but in general, like Magic Kingdom is just not the place
yeah, I
for that. I
agree.
mean, it sounds cool.
There's
Yeah,
also
I love
just
pirates.
there's so many rides in Magic Kingdom that normally you're not like the lounge at like Hollywood Studios and stuff. It makes sense because you have time to lounge a bit more. But in Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom, there's so many. If you're there with family, there's so many characters, so many rides that like I don't necessarily want to take time and like lounge. If I'm doing that, I want to go somewhere that's a full service restaurant where I can also
Yeah.
get like
yeah.
food.
And
I
do we know
think
where they're putting it? Do we think they're gonna
my
put it
guess is
like
that it's going to be Tortuga Tavern over there.
you think
Yeah,
they're gonna
No.
that's my guess. Where else are they going to put
I
it? Think about it.
well, what about
I
that
like
building on
Tortuga
the left-hand
Tavern.
side?
Which building?
The one that like was used for like the fun cards and stuff, and it's now just like a vacant building next to Outpost.
No, that's still the pirate scavenger hunt. It's not vacant.
Well, yeah, but if they take that away, I
Oh,
mean,
that like whole
It's
seating
still
all
tiny
area.
though.
they've taken all the other scavenger hunts away.
It's so tiny though. That's just like a little itty bitty
Yeah.
Well,
building.
yeah,
My
but if
guess is
they if
that
they
it's
take
gonna.
away the seating,
And put an actual like building there. Yeah.
put a building there.
My guess is that they're gonna retheme Tortuga because Tortuga's
So weird.
is kind
I
of
think you might be right.
what do they have there? Like it's first of all, it's only open seasonally, and I like now I think it's probably open a little bit more. But they have like
Yeah,
two things on the menu. They had
Yeah.
that pear slushy. I think they moved that to Tomorrowland. Like they don't have anything there, and that's a
that's
huge
true.
space because it butts up to Pecos, and so you have all
Pecos,
that
yeah.
seating inside and outside. My guess is that that's where it's gonna go because they're gonna try to utilize that space better because Tortuga ain't
Maybe.
bringing in the
They gotta really like change it into pirate tavern theme though,
Yeah. And make it like
because now it's
taverns are
just like a
normally
building,
dark and like enclosed too. Like,
dark and fun. Yeah,
yeah, I
you
don't
know,
know. I feel like I'm on board with it as long as it's like how they do it now, where like you can't get a drink to go and walk around the Magic Kingdom,
like
and
oh
it's
good.
like contained to that area. If it becomes the sort of thing where like you can grab a drink and go, I don't. Again, I have no problem with drinking. I at this point in my life am not a big drinker, but I have been in the
Yeah.
past. So I get it, and I mean, I'm sure there were times in my younger years that I was like, "Oh, I wish I could have a beer around the Magic Kingdom." But as an adult, I like that there's like not that option there. And I have
Yeah.
kid, like I don't know, Epcot. If you've been to Epcot on a rowdy day, you know what I'm talking about. Like
It's
Mm-hmm.
horrible.
it can get way out of hand real quick, and when you have kids there, you just like I would prefer to keep the Magic Kingdom
Oh
away
yeah.
from that. So, like, I'm fine with it being in the restaurants. I've had drinks while I'm in restaurants in Magic Kingdom. I think that that's great, but I don't
Yeah.
know that I really want people walking around. That's my take on it. I don't. We'll see what happens.
I agree
I
because
am
I
interested
think
to see
it's
where it
also
goes.
yeah, it's like it's a park for the youngest kids too. So like I agree because like you normally have all the very young children there to get those pictures with Mickey and everything. And yeah, if you've been on Cinco de Mayo around the Mexican Pavilion when fireworks are about to go off, messy,
Yeah, it's not
very
it.
messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I agree. But so yes, those are the two Magic Kingdom ones. So we're half and half. We like the tavern. We don't like Country Bear.
Yeah.
Eh.
And I think it's important to know
Um.
that there's been no like dates for any of this stuff. It's just like again the
No.
Disney's thing that they do where it's very ambiguous and it's like we're going to do this thing at some point in the future. Huh.
Yes.
Like
Expect it.
yeah, and I
2024.
don't like
Great.
Josh
Thanks so much.
D'Amaro did say he said the next decade for Disney parks was going to be really big, and they had really big plans. And this was something he said last year. And then this year's whole panel was, like Kristen said, very ambiguous. Not much was announced. And then it just seems like they're putting a lot of focus into their cruise lines at the moment, which is
and
fantastic.
the
They
parks
are.
overseas
But
too.
yes, yeah, Hong Kong Disneyland's getting a ton of stuff. So
I wonder if they
yeah, they're just
didn't learn their lesson because do you guys remember I think this was like
like
5 or 6 years ago when they announced that they were going to build that Main Street theater, right? That was like a definite announcement at D23 and they're going to build this huge theater and they went really into it where it was going to be and it was like a huge part of the
yeah,
presentation. And they started, I mean, like they were like, oh, we're breaking ground immediately. It's going to be Broadway entertainment, the whole thing. They literally started pouring the foundation and then they were like, no, never mind, cancel it. So I wonder if they did
yep,
not learn from that experience, like, don't tell them anything because I think,
Yeah.
honestly, up until the last minute, don't know if these things are going to get greenlit. And even if they're greenlit, then if they don't, the powers that be don't say, like, okay, never mind, we need that money somewhere else. So I feel like since that D23 5, 6 years ago, they don't give us anything anymore. They just are like, we might do this
yeah.
one day. What do you think? And then we're like,
I think that
Yeah.
that definitely could be part of it, but like for instance, the biggest thing last year, right? They started it. They literally the first sentence they said was a massive announcement, and it was happily ever after is coming back. The first sentence they said this time, other than leading with Muppets, which we'll discuss, was Figment's gonna come out. Like that was their big, and we got that announcement last year.
yeah.
So like it was not
Last
an
year.
announcement. It was just this is like the reveal of what it'll look like. So it
No, I
it's
agree.
just yeah, they're not giving us anything. Like last year they at least still had one massive like hook. And this year there was not that.
No.
They also had a different plan. So we'll go ahead and jump into the concrete versus non-concrete. So they announced a Moana opening date,
Hmm.
which Jessie and Kristen did get to preview, so we can discuss it a little bit. And then with that, they announced some changes to Dino Land. But if you had watched D23 last year, they had said that Dino Land, their blue sky idea, was going to be Zootopia. And I guess maybe they looked at feedback online because everyone was like, that doesn't really like match. So now they've announced the blue sky idea that Dino Land could be in the future in Kanto and Indiana Jones, tropical
Yep.
Americas.
I don't like it. I like
So
Zootopia better. So I don't, no.
Zootopia at least
Indiana
has
Jones
animals.
doesn't belong here. It belongs in Disneyland. Let us keep something
Yeah, I
original.
agree.
Yes, yes,
We don't
because
need the same rides at Disneyland. What's the draw for me to go to Disneyland if I'm going to be riding the
Yeah, I
same
agree.
rides?
it's true. And also, like we have Indiana Jones in Hollywood Studios.
Right.
There's
Yeah.
don't bring it over to another like leave it
No.
there.
Yeah.
So
I don't know
I
who's
think
complaining about Dino Land. This is what I don't understand. I've never met a person that goes to Dino Land and is like, "This stinks." Like I've never that person. I don't. If you
same.
are that person, please tell us because I've never met that person. Everybody, the feedback that we've heard, like that we, because
I
we
agree.
know people, like we know nobody's
They
like,
work with
oh,
travel agents.
yeah,
Yeah.
nobody is saying like, oh, thank goodness Dino Land's finally going. Like everybody's like, what the heck? Like we like the rides here. We like that it's like it fits, so it does fit into Animal Kingdom. It does. Dinosaurs were animals, so it works, and
Yes.
it just doesn't make sense. And um I don't get it. And I agree with Jessie. Like we have similar ride structure, and I like that
Yeah.
it's different. So
Yeah, and
it's
that's the thing. Like, at least
Yeah.
Dinosaur, like, I know some people don't like Dinosaur. I completely get that. Yeah, it's dark. Does it need a refurb? Yeah,
it
of
just
course
needs
it
the
does.
Yeah.
lights turned
But
on,
just
honestly.
refurb it.
Just
Well,
put the dimmer
but
up.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's super
Yeah.
fun. Like I said, I laugh and giggle the whole freaking time.
I love it.
But, like, do I think they need to redo some of the dinosaurs? Yeah, just
Yeah.
put money into your existing
Yeah.
ride.
Mm-hmm.
Don't change it to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
We
Or
already have
like
that
it just
Disneyland.
Encanto doesn't
Keep
fit
it.
there either. It doesn't make
No.
sense. And also from a thinking about Animal Kingdom standpoint, if you close that area, you are leaving people with three other options, not only for rides but for areas, and that is not a lot. And a lot of people go to
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom, so it just you're gonna take away a lot from the park closing it. And another thing is like Dino Land offers so much in terms of there's a play area, there's a learning area where you can dig up like dino bones
Yeah.
and stuff. There's a pretty decent sized restaurant and bar. So it has a lot in there and it's educational but also still very like kitschy and fun. And I think it would fare better to update it. And Kristen also has made a good point multiple times in saying that we shouldn't have to get stuff taken away to add stuff to the parks.
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom's one of those parks where they have so much
Yeah.
space. There's no reason.
You want to build that land in
No
Animal
reason to take
Kingdom,
it
you
away.
have the room. So just add it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the problem here?
Yeah.
Why are you taking stuff away from
Yeah.
us? Just give us new stuff. You do it in
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Disneyland,
get that they're
so
trying to get
Hmm.
people. Yeah, I get they're trying to get people to go to multiple parks, but like you just opened a Maribel meet and greet at Magic Kingdom. You just put Bruno in the parade at Magic Kingdom, but
This is
you're
why I
gonna
was
throw
confused.
Encanto and Casita, is Casita,
Casita.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, at Animal Kingdom, and you're like, wait,
yeah.
what?
Which has nothing to do with Indiana Jones.
No,
No.
no, nothing else.
And why are they
I don't
together?
the
What?
math is not mathing there. I don't understand the thought process that's going through their head where they're like, you know what we need? You know what works real well? These two franchises that have nothing to do with each other. What? Get out of
And
here.
also, like, sorry, kids these
And
days
old and
don't really
new
know.
too.
Yeah, and like kids these days don't really know Indiana Jones. Like,
No.
that's not a ride
Even
that
with
they're
the
gonna.
newer movies, kids don't know Indiana Jones. The only reason they like it at Hollywood Studios is because it's a fun
Yeah.
show.
It's very fun. Lots of explosions.
Yeah,
People love
right,
explosions.
Yeah.
They love
right.
like there's lots of flips. There's tricks. Even if you're little, there's stuff to look at.
Yeah.
Like
But like
I just
if I walked through an Indiana Jones land, I would have no idea what I was looking at.
I just
No idea.
I don't get
I
it.
wouldn't want to. I
And
would know what
speaking
I was
of
looking at, but I would have no desire to do that. I'd be like, this is a movie franchise from when I was 6 years old, and I have no desire
Yeah.
now in my 40s to go. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested. Maybe some people my age
I
are, but
think
it's not me.
I think they've just been very confused lately with Animal Kingdom. It seems like they know that they want to do something, but it really doesn't seem like there is a cohesive team being like
Yeah.
this is what it seems like there is multiple people who want to like bang their ideas together.
Yes.
And it just
Yeah.
It
it
doesn't
seems like
work.
they've just been very confused, and with that it leads right into the Moana being at Epcot. From the preview, it did look absolutely beautiful. All your photos
Oh,
in
it
it,
is
they look
beautiful.
gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
It's
It doesn't
beautiful.
belong in
But it's so
Epcot.
green.
It needs to be at
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom where Moana has her meet and greet.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like,
Her meet and greet is there.
And now they're moving her over to
that's what
Epcot,
I'm
which again,
saying.
like, I get it because, and again, I don't
I don't get
understand
it.
this point of view, but I know like
They have the seed.
I've heard it a lot where people are like, oh, you know, I'm only there for 3 days. I'm not going to take my kids to Epcot. And I'm like, I don't, like, personally, I feel that Epcot is the best park for kids because there's scavenging. Like, I
Yeah.
feel, but I guess I can understand where if you're not familiar with Epcot, you might think on the surface that it's not for kids. So I think Disney's trying to address that by being like, here's this thing that's for kids. But it doesn't fit. It's beautiful. It doesn't fit. And I have not met
Yeah.
Yeah,
one
it's
person.
gorgeous, but
Again, Jesse and I know a lot of people. Not one person has been like, this is the
Who thinks it
perfect
is?
placement for this. That, like, nobody is saying that.
No.
and it's like in the middle of Epcot. Like they just like dropped it there.
Yep.
Yeah, I
It
also am not a massive fan of a water feature being at the entrance. Only
yeah.
because I hate wet sneakers, and I know there's a dry path, but I hate wet sneakers, and
It's
also
not
like
though.
There's not there's not
if you have kids, you
there's not a
can't
dry path.
stop them from running through fountains that look fun. And now with it being at the front, because
No.
the imagination area, you can avoid that. With it being at the front, your kids are running through these fountains, and now they're sticky and damp. And if you have not brought a change of clothes, your kids are sticky and damp. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, the dry path is about 2 feet
Yeah, the
big.
dry path is only so, like, I'm sure you guys have seen videos online, like if you walk that like water curtain and you kind of walk through it slowly and
yes,
it parts, that's the only part that you miss if you go on the quote dry path. That's it. There's no it does not take you a whole separate route if you'd like to stay dry. You just
yeah, I
have
thought
to
it did.
know
No.
to stay
No.
away from certain things. And to an extent it's easy in some areas, but there is at the end like a splash pad for kids, and it's
It
squirting water
splits.
out. And like you could see, there's a video that Jessie and I took, and like my back is soaking wet because I was just standing there getting video of Jessie, and I was getting pelted with water from a whole other like side.
Oh, I
And
don't
so
love
then like in
that.
the video it looks like I'm sweating, but I'm like, no, I was getting drenched by like a fountain. So like there's no, I mean,
Yeah.
you have to kind of really like duck if you don't want to.
I
Yeah,
don't
so like
love
if you're
that.
bringing your kids in there and you don't want them wet, you're gonna have to hold them because the second they run through, they're gonna be jumping in a puddle or running through a water fountain or putting their
Yeah,
hands under
Yeah,
this water thing that
splashing
makes
each
noise.
other
Like,
and yeah.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And there's, I mean, it's really beautiful.
yeah.
It was really fun. We had a great time, but you're gonna get wet if you
Yeah.
go in there.
And if you
You're
don't
gonna and
want
you're
your kids
getting
Like
wet
getting
before
wet,
some
or you're
kind
walking.
of
doing it right
sprinklies
before a
or
dining reservation, like, because it's right
That's
outside of
before an
Coral
entire
Reef too.
showcase.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
it's a lot, and then also I still have issues with like how long it took to build,
yeah.
only because again
Yeah.
I
Oh,
live right behind I won't tell everyone exactly where, but if you listen to the Orlando episode we did about moving here, I live like right behind SeaWorld, and as you know, like Universal's building their Epic Universe park, you can already see buildings, hotels, full coasters up. They're pretty much now just gonna start working on the actual infrastructure and decorations and stuff.
yeah.
But like they didn't announce that long ago. Moana took years. And I
Yeah.
understand that it is gorgeous and a lot of technology and stuff like that. But from a guest standpoint, it took years to build fountains.
yeah.
So
Fountains.
it
I
took
mean,
a
how long
very
did it
long
take to
time. And
build
if you visited,
Guardians? How long did it take to build Tron? Like, they have, this is a completely separate
At least
subject,
those are
but
rides
they
though.
have to
it's a very separate subject.
yeah, this is a
But
whole separate subject. They have to step it up if they want to compete with Universal here, because Epic Universe is
yeah,
Yeah.
opening in 2 years. What does Disney have on the horizon that's going to bring people in 2 years that's as big as Epic Universe? Not one
yep,
thing. Not one thing.
yeah. And
No.
that's our main issue with like D23 is that's what we're expecting. We're not if it's not a fifth gate, we're expecting like Kristen said for them to like stop taking away and add
Yeah.
to the
What are
parks.
you doing to keep me
That's
here? Like, I have been a
yeah.
diehard Disney person my whole life, and I've been to Universal. Jesse and I
Yeah.
had this conversation not 2 weeks ago. I have been to Universal growing up, and I always thought it was fine, but I always like my heart belonged in Disney. Well, now that I'm older
Yeah.
and I have kids, like they're getting into Harry Potter, and then therefore I'm kind of getting into it because I never read a book or saw a movie until this year.
It's okay.
So
We'll
like
keep
I'm
going.
getting into it with them, and then like my kids are into dinosaurs, and like so I mean I've been, I went to Universal with Jesse like my kids, they're talking about going to Universal and doing spells in the Wizarding World. They're not talking about their
Yeah.
excitement to go. And the Wizarding World stuff is older, and my kids are excited to do
Yeah.
that. They're
Yeah.
not talking about the Moana fountains, and like we're a Disney
No.
family. So like how are you going to keep up with that? And I don't think they know. I don't think they have any
Yeah.
idea.
And exactly
Yeah.
to what you said earlier in the podcast, like this is where country bears didn't need to be addressed. Like this is exactly where that was not up here. Like
No,
but for someone it was up here. Like
I
so
don't get it.
Yep.
I just,
Um,
I just don't get it.
Speaking of Epcot,
Me
Last thing in
neither.
Epcot,
mhm,
yep, is the Figment meet and greet. So it debuted, and So I was expecting when they said a Figment meet and greet, I was hoping that he was not going to be big, and I was expecting a BB-8 situation. So if you've never met BB-8, he's exactly the size that you think a droid would be, about the height of a desk, and they have him on
Like a pedestal.
a thing, like a pedestal. Thank you. And he does little like beeps and interacts with you as much as a droid can, but he is the size. He's not like an Olaf sized droid. He's not like a stuffed soft droid. So I was expecting his Figment on the
I was
ride.
hoping for that, I should say.
Okay, Figment like the size of an arm, because he is Nigel's figment of imagination. So, what we got was a life-size Figment who looks a little skinny. He looks like he got some work
Like
done,
an alien?
and then his eyes are really yellow and really large, and
His face
his
is
bottom's a little
very
saggy.
reptilian. So I think you guys, Jessie was not feeling well the day that we were going to do it. I went, Yolanda, you haven't done it yet. So I did go see him. I did it for work, but also because I do Figment's my boo and I love him. I'm a child of the 80s
Yeah.
and I love him. So
I want to go see him. I want to.
I also
yeah.
want to go
So
see him.
I did it and the area's cute. You know, they changed that tunnel looking thing. It says like Dreamport now, which is a
Yeah.
Link.
callback to like, you know, the original song. And they have like one of the original animations up on the wall of him, like, you know, whatever the original animation was from the ride. They have, you know, from the old ride. They have it there, which is cute. Okay, cool. Points for that. And the background is really cute. You know, you see Dreamfinder in the back, which I'm like, 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 can we, like, you're acknowledging his existence.
could-
Like, can you bring that? Can you get us back there, Disney? And then Figment comes out and he's cute. And
Yes.
he's got his moves that he does, and you know, his costume. It is like it does look a little. I don't want to say scaly, but like if you kind of zoom in on
But it
some of the
is
pictures, there's like a
scaly.
texture to it that is a little reptilian, and his face is very
Mm-hmm.
thin, and he's just a little bit disproportionate, and it's just not. I feel like, and if you guys agree, please chime in. They would have served us better to use that building in the back that they use for Chase and maybe have, like Yolanda said, him on a pedestal, the right size, interacting with guests when they spend some money, Disney, interacting with guests when they come in, talking to guests. Like, you have the technology because you have the articulated Mickey Mouse in
Yeah.
the whatever it's called, the town hall over there in Magic
Magic
Kingdom.
Theater. The theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The theater.
like you have the technology and you could have like a, you know, you can move the line along because you can have a few stations, wink wink, if you know what I mean. And you could have just spent money and you could have given us like exactly what we wanted and had him
Yeah.
interacting with us and talking with
Or
us.
bring Dreamfinder back with
I
him.
mean, that's the dream right
Yeah.
there.
But that's a pipe
That's-
dream. That's a pipe dream. It's fine.
I mean, can you imagine if they had done that? People would have, the hour alone on the first day, like the wait was 5 hours. Can you imagine if Dreamfinder had come? People'd still be waiting in line.
Yeah, no, they lose their
Yeah,
minds. They'd absolutely
absolutely.
lose their minds.
So I just think
Yeah,
it could
I
have been
just-
done better again if they just spent some money and didn't just kind of. It just seemed like they were like, "Oh crap, we promised them a
Yeah.
Figment meet and greet last year. We don't have anything. So like, quick, let's get
Yes.
this." That's what it looked like
Let's
to
throw
me.
it together.
This is
Yeah.
what I was telling them. It felt really rushed, and so they promised us last year Hatbox Ghost and Figment. We're still waiting on Hatbox Ghost, but they did give us the date of November, and I'll believe it when I see it. But with
Yeah,
Figment,
same.
we were promised during the summer, and if you go on the Disney Parks last few posts before D23, people were blowing it up, being like, okay, but like, where's Figment? It's summer. It's the end of summer. Summer is where is Figment? So I feel like she said, they had to announce something, and if you look at the costume, you can literally see the glove lines, you can see the feet line, like, it feels rushed, and I hope it wasn't, but
Yeah.
it's if you go just Google pictures of 2000
Yeah, and if
Figment,
you've been
and I
already, like,
That's what I'm
just let
saying,
us
like-
know your thoughts.
If you're gonna rush it, just bring the old one back.
they had to have
Why?
had like the at least stencil to sew
You
that
have
costume
the
or like
pattern back
design
there.
like
What are you doing?
that's what it's called, the pattern. You had to have it. We've had them before. Like
I don't get
Yeah,
it.
it was a little.
it just
He's wonky.
he's wonky. The last
I
one
want to go
wasn't.
meet him,
I'm
but I
gonna
will
go
not
meet him.
wait an hour.
I waited an hour because
No,
it was like the
I-
third day. But then when I went
Yeah.
back Friday, I just walked in there because I was there with my husband and he wanted to just see the area. and there was nobody online. Like there was, I mean, it was maybe like 2 rows.
Nice.
It was not bad. I think as people like, I
Yeah.
don't know. I feel like we're not the only ones that are disappointed.
We're over it.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So it's been interesting. The last two, neither of us had a ton of feelings on, so I'll just mention them quickly. It was that they're just kind of redoing Test Track to the old World of Motion, which is a ride that closed to make way for Test Track, and it
is that what they're
highlighted
doing?
the
I didn't
history of.
catch that part. It's going to be more World of Motion.
They're retheming that.
Yeah.
So World of Motion, it's still going to be by Chevy, and it used to celebrate like the advancements of transportation. So I don't know how they'll do that. And then in Animal
Has anybody
Kingdom,
here
they're
written
taking
that
out the
real
Bug's
quick?
Life.
I remember writing that back in my.
I've never ridden it.
Yeah, I don't.
I
So
never wrote it.
unsure. I'm unsure.
Unsure.
But again, what not like many thoughts. And then in Animal Kingdom, no more Bug's Life show, and they're putting Zootopia as the 3D show, which I'm
I
not.
have thoughts about
I have
that,
thoughts.
but
Oh, okay.
again, it doesn't make sense. Why are you putting Zootopia in
Yeah,
the tree?
I want to be very clear. I don't like Bug's Life. I don't do it.
I
I don't.
love
My
Bug's Life.
husband took my
I
son a
like
couple weeks ago to do it because I was like, no. But it fits. If you're thinking of a tree, you think, but like that attraction fits.
There
in
would
a
be
tree.
bugs in it.
Yeah, you don't think like
Inside a
Zootopia
tree,
doesn't
there
belong
when
in
you
that
cut a log down.
Yeah, Zootopia doesn't belong in that tree. And again, like, just give us I wouldn't mind a Zootopia land in Animal Kingdom. Add one. Don't take anything away from me.
I think it'd be
Give
cute.
me a new one, you know? And so
It'd be
that,
fun.
I
I
don't
mean, they have the whole stadium that they don't use. Turn half of the stadium on the water into a Zootopia land.
Yeah.
Like
I also, to
it would
Jesse's
not
point
be-
of it being a treat,
like
now I'm thinking of when you walk into the Bugs Life Theater, it's a theater that's put on by Bugs, so they have like posters of different movies of Bugs, but the walls are tree. You are inside a tree.
Correct.
So yeah, it
inside
will
a
be
tree.
there's no tree walls in the
I
Zootopia
feel
movie,
like
so you're
You're
right.
gonna put a Zootopia movie in there?
I
I don't
I'm
know.
breaking my own mantra because I'm saying take something away to give us something, but I feel like you have that train, right? The train over to I forget what it's called now.
Oh
Rafiki's
yeah.
Planet Watch.
Rafiki's Planet.
I am
Planet Watch,
personally
yeah.
not a huge fan of Rafiki's Planet Watch. I know some people do really like it, but I feel like isn't that itching? Like it's a train. Isn't that itching
Yes, it's
for a
big itching for
Zootopia
something.
sort of layover on it? Like you can make that
Yes.
whole area Zootopia and you have to take the train like Judy Hopps did to Zootopia.
Into Zootopia.
Yep.
Disney, I'm available.
They should really consult Kristen.
That's a
I
good
charge a
one.
very reasonable hourly
So-
rate. Like this is not difficult. This is not difficult.
I-
Like, but instead they're gonna
It's
cram
so
something
dumb.
in the tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate that she came up with that quickly, and I'm just like,
Like-
that fits so much better. That makes so much sense.
Am I wrong? Like,
I hate
So
that.
much more sense.
just do that. How many people are really coming to Animal Kingdom for Rafiki's Planet Watch?
They're not.
The
they're not,
only
no.
reason I go over there is for the animation experience, but they can keep that
Yeah.
at Zootopia
Or just move it
Yeah.
somewhere else. You
Yeah,
have
'cause
room in Animal
Zootopia,
Kingdom.
or move it somewhere else.
Zootopia is
Yeah.
an animated movie, so it would make sense.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Done. We've literally
means
solved
that-
this problem. So, like, I don't understand what the issue is here.
When I go there, I literally only go there
Yeah.
to draw, and then I take the train back.
Yeah,
Here it is.
I don't know. So we just a lot of thoughts. We don't really don't get it. The Disney community has definitely online and on threads has just been kind of like, oh my, like
We're all confused.
Yeah.
we're all confused. I think that they have a lot of ideas, but they're getting their park themes, like their original park themes, a bit confused. They're getting them
Yeah, I feel like
mixed. Like Epcot was always
Hollywood
supposed to be
Studios
about learning.
is already
and-
like a lost cause because it's just like a mishmash of like you're behind the movies, you're in a movie, this is a
That's
movie,
obvious.
and then this is an
Agreed.
like. But now I feel like they're kind of starting to do that to the other parks too. Like Animal Kingdom is quickly kind
Yeah.
of becoming this like hodgepodge, or it will, of like this is sort of related to the
Yeah.
Earth, but not really. So we're gonna shove it in here, and then Epcot is like Moana. Sure. Oh,
And again,
Okay.
Studios has a lot you could do. And all they said was, "We're gonna add Ahsoka to Star Tours," which it's just them adding new scenes.
yeah. Which honestly,
Same
how
ride.
hard is that? So why is
So-
that taking a year?
Yep, they led with Muppets, so we thought maybe we were gonna get something fun and new in that area, and they just
I
used them to introduce
will
Josh Duhamel.
never
They did nothing.
Get over the fact that they trotted those Muppets out for every announcement, and then they had the audacity to not have anything, including the Muppets, in their announcement. Who do you think you're messing with? What are you doing?
Not even like a Kermit bucket, a Kermit sipper, Kermit nothing. They couldn't give us a single
Nothing.
Why
nothing.
would
They
they
gave us
care?
nothing.
What are you doing? I have said for years that Disney underutilizes the Muppet franchise. And I get not everybody
They
loves the
do.
Muppets, but I want to be very clear. I love the Muppets.
They
And
do.
it is aggravating as all get out that they're like, here's Muppet Vision 3D, a movie we haven't changed in 35 years. And that's
Yeah.
all you get. Like, enough is
Yeah.
enough. You could have given us a Muppet
Yeah.
restaurant. You could give us Muppet anything. I will take it. And they're just like, here's the Muppets. Tease, no Muppet attraction. Sucks to be you.
Because like Mama Melrose could easily be
It was
rethemed as
supposed to be a
Muppets.
Muppet
Oh my
restaurant,
God,
and then
yeah.
at the last minute they changed it, and it's been Mama Melrose.
It's not
ever
popular.
since.
People only like. Oh really? Yeah. Yeah. So
In
that's
some of the original architecture,
again.
we could even do a podcast on it. You could see like there's hints to the Muppets in there that then they bailed on last minute. Thanks,
I
Disney.
didn't know that.
that.
I didn't know that. But yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
we
we
had a
go.
lot. We had a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
Again, there was not many announcements for studios at all, and like she said, it's a very confused park, and
Yeah.
we expected more from D23, but
Yeah, I think that's the
hopefully
moral
you
of the
guys have
story.
enjoyed
Is
it.
it's not that I expected more because I get the pattern, but we just this is what they do now. This is par for the course. So I mean, I always watch and I'm always kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, maybe like I'll get something, but I never do, and it's always just it is what it is. But I mean, that's how we feel.
Yeah.
Tell us in the comments.
Yep.
We'll kind of put some polls. I know we did have a poll on the actual D23 day, but when we drop this one, we'll put those back up so you can kind of give us your feedback on
Yes.
some of the announcements and tell us if you agree with us. If you like my Zootopia plan, tell us.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we'll definitely put the Zootopia. plan
Yes,
up 'cause I love it.
exactly. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens every
Yeah.
year, every day we'll get closer to something. So that's all we got.
Yep.
Let us know how you
Yeah.
feel. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks with some more stuff to talk about. So thank you so much.
Yes.
We love you
Yeah.
guys. Take care.
Bye.
Guys. Bye.